What's up, guys? This is the third video or episode 3 of Rags to Riches, and today we're going to be talking about support and resistance. Okay, so yesterday you guys learned about, not yesterday, but the last video you guys learned about swing highs, swing lows, and swing points, right? You might have been like, all right, I know how to do this, but how is this important? Well, this is where support and resistance come into play. Okay, so basically all these are levels, okay, or key levels, right? So in trading you have these things called key levels, right? Key levels are just areas where price will react from, right? So react from just means like, okay, if price is going down here, it's going to respect this, okay? So the price is just going to keep, like, it's never going to go below this level, and it's just going to keep respecting it, right? And most of the retail traders, or most of the uninformed speculative money traders, they think this is what happens, but in reality the markets get manipulated. Okay, today we're not going to be talking about the manipulation of the markets. We're just going to talk about support and resistance, because it's kind of like a foundational idea that you have to understand before you can get to market manipulation. Okay, so this is what respecting a level means. Okay, so you're just kind of bouncing off of it. You're never breaking through, right? So breaking through looks something like this, right? So you're breaking through that level, right? We don't want to see that happen, right? If the price breaks through, then that means it's an invalid level. So this is like simply what support and resistance is, right? It's just price kind of respecting these levels and not breaking through, right? That shows that this is like a strong area, and that price keeps getting pressured to like stay underneath it, right? It's just like not breaking out. That's resistance, and then support is like on the bottom, right? So kind of explain to you, support is just on the bottom, right? Support and resistance refer to the same thing, except support is on the bottom and then resistance is on the top, right? So support looks something like this. Resistance is like on the top. It's like kind of like resisting. It's kind of like a roof. And then support is like a floor, right? So you can't go below the floor. Resistance is like the ceiling. You can't go below the ceiling, right? If that makes any sense. Okay, that's basic support resistance, right? This is a good diagram. So now I want you guys to try finding this on your charts. Okay, this is a simple concept, and basically all of these kind of peaks and troughs, right? This peak over here, or I guess you can call it a trough, but you can also call it like a sharp move. All of these sharp moves are simply swing points, right? The thing that we were talking about, right? You know, swing points, this thing, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the previous video. I'm not going to draw it out again, but it's literally just these, right? Just 3 of these together. Oh, shoot, okay. But you guys get it, right? So this thing, and then the higher wick, and then the lower wick. You know, let me just drop. All right, I want to do this the right way. Right? So swing highs, swing lows that you saw in the previous video and that you practiced is on this. Right? So your swing highs, same thing with swing lows. Right? So you're basically going to see swing highs at resistance, because resistance is like the top thing, right? And swing highs are the top thing as well. So you're going to see swing highs line up with resistance, and you're going to see swing lows line up with support, right? And let's see that in action, right? So right here is an example of support resistance, right? So this is kind of like the level right here. This is a swing low, right? Support and resistance levels are always start from either swing highs or swing lows. So in this case, remember the last video how we marked this out as a swing low, because there's a wick and there's 2 lower wicks on either side, right? I mean, technically this doesn't have a wick, but yeah, I think that's another rule I have to add. Basically, if it doesn't have a wick, it's still considered a swing low, okay? Still considered swing low, as long as you're like, there's 2 lower things on either side, right? So if this thing's lower and this thing's lower, that is considered a swing low. All right, we can just draw a line from there, and we can see that price is kind of going to this area, and it's just kind of pushing back, right? We see the formation. Let me do this. All right, if we zoom in a little closer, we have a swing low, and then we see another swing low forming right at that level, right? Because 2 lower wicks and then a bigger wick. Right, so we see that other thing forming at the same time. Okay, and then resistance to the same thing. So we have this resistance level here, and we can anticipate price coming to this level and reacting from it, right? So just like kind of going to the other side. Right, so let's see if this happens, because that's the swing high, right? Does it ever go there? I don't know. Right, so in this case, it just kind of broke out, right? Sometimes it breaks out. But you can still see that we got a reaction from this level right here, right? Because this is a candle. Remember how we had that candlestick video, the very first video, right? Buyers were pressured to, go high, right? So there's a lot of buying pressure here. And then we had selling pressure that closed the candle below. Now, eventually, it did go higher, but this initial candle still shows us that support and resistance ideas are valid, right? Because this is a resistance, right? And we're expecting swing highs at the resistance, and we actually do get a swing high, right? This right here is a swing high because there's two lower wicks, right? This is a swing high, and we got the reaction from it, right? Reading the price action of the candlestick. Because price, at one point, this candle used to be a full white or bullish candle, right? And then it kind of went down a little bit, right? It kind of, like the body shrunk down because sellers were trying to sell from this level because there's a lot of selling pressure at this level, okay? So one thing you have to understand here is that there's a lot of orders resting at these support and resistance levels, right? Because people think that they're going to hold, right? Or at least the uninformed money thinks that they're going to hold, right? I'm going to get to this whole uninformed money thing later on. But the main idea here is that people are placing their orders, okay? So they see these support resistance levels and they think that price is going to hold this. So what they do is they put in like long positions and short positions, okay? So right here, this is a good example, right? If I saw this and if I was like an everyday trader, right? We don't trade like this, but this is how like other people kind of trade, right? See this and I'm like, all right, let me put a long position, right? Long position means that you're buying the market, okay? Long position, stop loss is like, I don't know, maybe like something here, right? And then you're targeting higher, right? And you can catch that move, right? You can catch that move, right? I'll explain all these tools and position sizing things later. But, let's just say like for now, like you just buy it, right? So when you see this tool, this is like your take profit, this is your stop loss, and then you buy at this level, right? I'm going to explain this later, but let's just say you buy at this level and then you sell somewhere higher, right? You'd make a profit. So that's how these guys kind of operate, right? They buy and sell at support levels, right? And then they might have sold at this resistance level because they might have been like, all right, price could have potentially like, went down, right? Because we already got a reaction from here. So I think price is going to go down lower, right? So that's where they're going to sell their position, right? So they buy it, support, and they sell it resistance, vice versa, right? I'm sorry, not vice versa, but like, you get the point, right? They buy it at support, and they sell it resistance, and they sell it resistance, and they buy it support. Okay? So what I want you guys to do is, on your charts, identify significant swing points, okay? When I say significant swing points, I mean like ones that are like really clear, right? Like, all right, this is a swing point, this is a swing point, but this is a very clear one, right? It's like clear as day, right? I want you to get a line, okay? So this is like a line, right? You can find it right here. Trend lines. I like to use trend line, okay? And just put down the favorite thing so then you can, find it on your favorites bar. And then just do this and then just drag it out. And if you hold shift, it straightens the line. So do this and then hold shift and then tap your mouse or touchpad or trackpad, right? And then it's going to drop. So like actually practice doing this because you got to draw a lot of lines, right? Just do this and then boom, drag, and then if you hold shift, it'll automatically straighten, right? See, it's straightening. And it also straightens if you go on basically it straightens at like 90 degrees basically. Right, so 90 degrees here, 90 here, 90 here, 90 here, 90 here. Right, but we like to do this kind of 180 degree sort of thing. Right? And just straighten it to make it look neat. And if you turn on this thing called magnet mode, so they have like a magnet mode sort of thing. right? When you turn on magnet mode, it basically sticks your like trend lines and stuff like that to the significant points on the candlestick, like the open, high, low, close, right? So right here it's sticking to the open, and right here it's sticking to the high, right here it's sticking to the close, sticking to the low, right? So if it's kind of just like sticking, it's like a magnet sort of, and it just helps you kind of easily stick your levels, right? And then you can just drag it out and make it look clean if you want, right? So what you want to do is draw out these levels, and I want you to see if price is respecting these levels or disrespecting levels, right? So respecting means that you have the swing low and you have more swing lows forming, right? There can be multiple right here. You have swing low and then you just have another one, right? Sometimes it can be like 3. It can be like 1, 2, 3 times price taps into the level, right? Sometimes it's like 5, right? Sometimes price never taps into the level, right? Like right here, I don't know, like maybe like something here, right? Price never tapped into this level, right? It didn't tap into it yet. But just kind of, practice drawing those lines and identify whether there's support or resistance, right? So support is the one on the, what is it? Yeah, right here. Okay, support is the one on the bottom. Resistance is the one on the top, okay? Because support is supporting price to go higher. So this one, it would be support, right? And then resistance would be like right here, okay? And I want you to just draw these lines, right? Figure out whether there's support or resistance. And remember, these have to be at swing points, okay? Have to be at swing points. And it could be at any swing high or swing low, right? Like even this is valid too. Right? I said significant swing highs and swing lows, but it can really just be anything. The significant ones are just easier to spot, right? But again, you can do anything like this, right? Sometimes price never trades back into them, right? If it does it respect or disrespect, right? Respecting means that you create more swing lows on the way. Right here, this is disrespecting, right? And why is it disrespecting? Actually, it is respecting, right? Never mind. I thought it was disrespecting, right? But it is. And that's because we have a swing low, right? So low. This is the biggest wick, and then we have 2 smaller wicks on either side. So that would be respecting, right? And then again, we tap into this level again. Not exactly, but pretty close, right? And then we create another swing low. So even if it's close, just kind of mark that down, right? See, like, all right, it was close, right? And just kind of analyze it, be like, all right, is price going to the level? Like right here, price is still respecting it, but then it eventually disrespects because it just runs through it, right? This is called a breakout. When price breaks out of a support or resistance level, it breaks out, okay? It's called a breakout. So right here, you can say that price is respecting this support level, or you can say in this example, price is not even trading into the support level. Right here, price is respecting the support level, and it came into the level only once, and then it traded away, right? And in this scenario, you can say price broke out of the resistance level, right? You can say it's initially supported the resistance level, but then eventually just broke out a couple candles later, right? Just keep doing that. Like for this one, you could say initially price was respecting this resistance level because we had swing high here, right? Still kind of in that same like proximity. Doesn't have to be exactly like at the line to the dot, as long as you're creating the swing high like relatively like in this area, right? So swing high. So we supported it at first, and then actually no, we're still supporting it, yeah. Right? We're still creating another swing high, kind of in this area in general, right? You can consider this another resistance zone, and then we're kind of respecting that. We're kind of going down from there, right? So that's your support and resistance. I just want you guys to understand this concept and just kind of note down, right? Go through maybe like 10 or 20 examples of this happening and just write it down like, all right, is price respecting most of the time? Is it disrespecting? Is it breaking through? Is it respecting at first and then disrespecting and breaking through, right? Like what is going on? Do I have more support levels? Do I have more resistance levels, right? Just make observations. There's no right or wrong answer. Just use what you've learned from these videos and, hop on TradingView, mark it out, right? Use the line thing, use the trend line thing, use the little highlighter thing for your swing points, right? Do those things. And then just kind of observe, right? This is not our trading strategy, right? I don't want you guys to go in live markets with this, right? This is not what we're trying to do. This concept is like a foundational concept that you have to understand, and then we're going to build off of this concept. Like for video number 4, we're going to build off of this, and we're going to introduce you to more stuff. So every single video kind of adds on top. So make sure you guys do that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.